Now, let's go back. The showering, so it's actually still going into your body.
It's getting into the skin.
Yeah. But what can we do, Nicola? I mean, we all shower, or bath, actually, or bath, so that fluoride is going into your body, whether you like it or not. What can we do? I mean, is there anything we can take that will help us? You know,
that is something that is out of my league. What we can do immediately, drinking water, reverse osmosis, and certain filters take fluoride out. There are filter systems now that you can get for your home that take the fluoride out for the whole water, so for your washing water and your tap water and your shower water and what have you. Not everybody can afford to do that. But I think the most important thing is to badger the council to get them to stop doing it.
Well, that's what Penny Bright and others have been very involved in the protest against the water, the treatment of water. While putting those things in the water. I just thought I'd ask you that since we're on to, because that's a big one, that one.
It is a big one, yeah. And 48% of New Zealand councils currently fluoridate. So not all of New Zealand is fluoridated. Most of the far north is not fluoridated. A good part of the South Island is not fluoridated.
No wonder those northerners are still smiling.
I was going to say, now they're toey and, they speak up and out, which is great. They know their rights. They're not dumbed down in any way like the rest of us.
No. Okay, so that's the fluoride.
And then the other one was we're starting to look at how much genetically engineered food is sneaking into our food chain. We've recently read a report up to 40 ingredients, genetically engineered ingredients.
And they're not even writing it on the covers or on the bottles? Or?
No, there is no food safety do not require you to label whether or not you're using genetically engineered ingredients.
Gee, that's
on the label.
That's the other thing. Now, just when you think you've got it, I read everything now. Do you know that the writing is so small you can't? You can't even read it.
No, I can't even read it with my reading glasses on.
No, with my reading glasses on, I can't even read it. Is that deliberate? I wonder.
Yes and no. A lot of it's often marketing. You've got lots to get on there now. There are rules and regulations in place, and so much has to go on that label, and they don't want to detract from the pleasantness of the product. But it could quite possibly be deliberate. But
Now, Nicola, before you go, I want to go back to this selenium.
Selenium.
That's depleted from our soils. Mm-hmm. Now, some people have different ideas about it, but I think we basically all agree that selenium is missing from our soils. So we start as a deficit anyway in terms of our vegetables and fruit. Now, what is your... you said something about the farmers. That's one view. Talking to somebody, or rather he was talking to me today, this guy, and he was saying, and I said, so what causes, what's caused the lack of selenium in our soils? And he had this other version talking about rocks and things. I better not go on, I might misquote him, but something to do with rocks. Now, can you give us your version of why we are devoid of selenium in our soils?
Yeah, I can't help you with that, but I do know... I have been told by, it was one of the guys...
I should have asked David while he was on.
Yeah, possibly. There's somebody who I spoke to who's part of the transition town in Torbay said that New Zealand does have selenium in our soils, but just not on that top layer. It is deep down. So what you can do to pull it up is surround your garden with comfrey, because the taproot actually draws selenium from the lower levels of the soil up to the surface. So wherever, if you're growing vegetables at home or you're farming, you use the comfrey plant draw up the selenium, and we do have it. Why we don't have it in our top soils, I don't know if that is because of deforestation, perhaps. When the Pākehā first came here and they ended up slaughtering the forests. Among other things.
Among other things. We'll just leave it at that, yes.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm speculating at this stage.
No, well, sometimes I've heard the farmers have been blamed for the lack of selenium. I'm wondering whether that's correct. I mean, surely they couldn't have done it all over New Zealand.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think it's a symbiotic relationship, because the farmers are having to produce foods faster in larger quantities because we're overeating, and they've also got to produce food because we go to the supermarket and we want it to look fresh, and it has to travel long distances. And so the consumers do have a responsibility here as well. So we're driving it. So like the more of us that grow our own vegetables or buy from our local markets or buy organic particularly, it will actually drive the farmers to actually have to revert back to organic farming practices.
Yeah.
So, let us not demand the perfect round red tomato when tomatoes that grow naturally are not perfect. They have great variation. That's what nature does. So, if we pull back on that and be a little bit more sensible in our demands, we will end up forcing the farmers to go back to traditional practices.
But one thing that we can give the listeners, though, is comfrey, to plant more comfrey.
Comfrey around your vegetable garden.
Gardens, that's right.
That was a tip from the guy from Torbay.
Yeah. Okay, Nicola, our time is up.
Good.
How would you like to conclude? Have you got something else?
Well, other than going to our website, we'd love to have everybody listening joining us. But I think if there's anything that I want to leave the listeners with is that whenever you hear research says, scientists have said, remember that we know that at least 20% of our scientific research is fraudulent. So we need to ask questions. What research? Who did it? Who was adopted? Yeah. Who pays them?
Who was the
what
funder?
Drug companies funded the studies? We need to know, though, that information so we can be better informed and always seek a second and a third opinion. Finally, there's also common sense. Does it make sense to you that nutrients that you need to live on and to survive can kill you? Now, do we need science to tell us that that nature created nutrition to kill us? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Now, whereas on the other hand, vaccines, have a look at what's in it. Mercury. We have the same people telling us that mercury is not good for us. Yeah. And the disinfectant. That's what I call it anyway.
And
look, Nicola, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Becky.
And informing our listeners. Now, next week, folks, we hope to have a scientist or, somebody to
tell us. There'll be a doctor. You've got the Dr. Mark.
A doctor. Okay. Well, look, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For all the information that we've got tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
bye.
Yeah, keep up the good work.